Alright, Title 49 CFR Chapter 2, Part 237, Bridge Safety Standards, Subpart A, General. 237.1, Application 237.3, Responsibility of Compliance, 237.5, Definitions, 237.7, Penalties, 237.9, Waivers, Subpart Railroad Bridge Safety Assurance, 237.31, Adoption of Bridge Management Program, 237.33, Content and Bridge Management Program, Subpart C, Qualification Design, Responsible Persons, 237.51, Railroad Bridge Engineers, 237.53, Railroad Bridge Inspectors, 237.55, Railroad Bridge Supervisors, 237.57, Designation of Individuals, Subpart D, Capacity of Bridge, 237.71, Determination of Bridge Load Capacity, 237.73, Protection from Bridge from overweight and overdimension loads. Subpart E, Bridge Inspection, 237.101, Scheduling of Bridge Inspection, 237.103, Bridge Inspection Procedure, 237.105, Special Instruction, 237.107, Conduct of Bridge Inspection, 237.109, Bridge Inspection Records, 237.111, Review Bridge Inspection Reports. Subpart F, Repair and Modification of Bridges, 237.31, Design, 237.133, Supervision of Repairs and Modifications. Subpart G, Documentation Records, Audit Bridge Management Program, 237.151, Audits General, 237.153, Audits and Inspection, 237.155, Document Records. Appendix A to Part 237, Supplemental Statement, Agency Policy for the Safety of the Railroad Bridges. Appendix B, Part 237, Schedule of Civil Penalties, Authority of the Title 49 U.S. Standard Code 2102 to 2114, Public Law 110-432, Division A, Section 417, Title 28 U.S. Standard Code 2461, Note Title 49 CFR 1.49, Sources 75, Federal Register 4th 1302, July 15, 2010, unless otherwise noted. Subpart A, General. Application, except provided with the paragraphs of B and C of this section, this part applies to all owners of railroad track with a gauge of 2 feet or more, which is supported with a bridge. This part does not apply to the bridges on tracks used exclusively for the rapid transit operations which urban area are not connected with the general railroad system of the transportation. This part does not apply to the bridges located in installations which is not part of the general railroad system of transportation over which trains are not operated in railroad. Responsibility for the compliance, 237.3. Expect to provide with a paragraph of the section, owner of the track of which the part applied with the responsible for the compliance for the owner of the track, which the part applies the sign with the responsible for the bridge that carried out with the track of any other another person or leaser otherwise written notification assignment shall provide with the appropriate FRA regional office at least 30 days in advance for the assignment. The notification can be made without any party to the assignment shall be written including the following: the name and the address for the track owner, the name and the address for the person to responsibility is assigned or signed or signer, a statement of the exact relationship between the track owner and the assigner, the precise identification of the track segment with the individual bridges and assignment, a statement of the competency ability of the assigner to carry out the bridge safety duty of the track under this part. 6. A statement signed by the assigner knowledge of the time of the replacement of the purpose for the compliance with this part. C. The administrator may hold the track owner or the assigner both responsible for the compliance with the part with the subject of penalties under the statute 237. 7. A common carrier of the railroad which is direction with the safest transportation railroad for the provided service done for the track and another railroad under Title 49 U.S. Standard Code is considered the owner of the track of the service for the application for the part during the period of the directed service if the other remains in effect. Where any person, including with a contracted railroad track owner, performs the function performed with this part, the person is required to perform the function in accordance with this part. Where an owner of the track is which with the part applied for the previously assigned responsibility of the segment track and another person with the prescribed in Title 49 CFR 213.5C, additional notification of the FRA is not required. And G, the FRA reserves the right to reject the assignment of the responsibility under statute 237.3 for the cause that's shown. Alright, 237.5, definition. For this part of the bridge modification means the change of the configuration of the railroad bridge that affects the load capacity with the bridge. Bridge repair means the remediation of the damage of the deterioration which is a fact for the structural integrity of the railroad bridge. Railroad bridge means any structure on which the deck, regardless of the length of the supports one or more railroad tracks, any other undergrade structure with the individual span length of 10 feet or more located at such a depth that is affected by live loads. Truck owners means the person responsible for the compliance in accordance with Statute 237.3. 237.7, penalties. Any person who violates the requirement of the part with this violation requirement subject to the civil penalty at least $650, not more than $25,000 per violation. except for the penalties may be assessed against the individual only for the willing violation, where the grossly negligent violation of the part of the repeated violation has created with the imminent hazard for the death and injury of the person has caused death or injury with a penalty not exceeding $1,005 per $105,000 violation may be assessed. Person means in any type of the covered or under the Title I U.S. Standard Code 1, including but not limited to the following: a railroad, a manager, supervisor, official, other employee, agent with the railroad, any owner, manufacturer, leaser, or lessor of the equipment and the track of the facility and or independent contractor providing goods, services for the railroad, any employee with such owner, manufacturer, leaser, or lessor, independent contractor, anyone holding an administrator held by the Administrator of Federal Railroad Administration to be responsible under Statute 237.3d. Each day of the violation continues and shall constitute the separate offense. See the Appendix B for this part of the Statement Agency Civil Penalty Policy. Any person who knowingly, willfully falsifies the record of the report required by this part may be subject to criminal penalties under Title 49 U.S. Standard Code 21311. Waivers. 237.9 Waivers. Any person subject with the requirements for this part with the petition for the administrator with the waiver the compliance with the special requirement the following of this part does not affect with the person's responsibility of compliance with the requirements for the petition is being considered a petition of the waiver that must be filled in the manner that containing the information required with the Part 211 of this chapter. If the administrator finds that the waiver the compliance is in public interest and consistent with the railroad, the safety administrator may grant the waiver subject to the conditions the administrator deemed necessary. If the waiver is granted, but the administrator publishes notice with the Federal Register containing the reason for the granting of the waiver. Subpart B, Railroad Bridge Safety and Insurance. 237.31 Adoption of the Bridge Management Program. Each track owner should adopt the Bridge Safety Management Program provided with the deterioration of the railroad bridges by preserving the capability of the safely carry with the traffic by operated over them, reducing the risk for the human casualties, environmental damage, disruption of the national railroad system with the result of a catastrophic bridge failure no later than the dates of the following schedule: March 14th, 2011, Class 1 carriers; March 14th, 2011, owner of the track segments which are part of the general railroad system transportation and which carry more than 10 scheduled passenger trains per week; September 13th, 2011, Class 2 carriers, to be which the Program B of the section does not apply, and September 13th, 2012. All other tracks owners subject to this part are not described in paragraph A through C of this section. 237.33 Contents for the Bridge Management Program. Each bridge management program adapted for compliance with this part shall include the minimum of the following: an accurate inventory of the railroad bridges, which shall include the unique identifier for each of the bridges, location, configuration, type of the construction, number of span lengths, and all other information necessary to provide with the management bridge safety, a record safety load capacity of each bridge, provision of the planning, maintain, design, documentation to each bridge and available to document all repairs, modifications, and inspections of each bridge. A bridge inspection program covering as a minimum inspection personnel safety consideration, type of the inspection, including required detailed definition and defects, along with associated condition codes, if and condition codes are used for the method of the documentation inspection, including standard form for the format. 5. The structure and type of the component for the nomenclature, and 6. The number of the identification protocol for structured unit spans and individual components. Subpart C, qualification, designation, responsibility of persons. Railroad bridge engineers. A railroad bridge engineer shall be a person determined with the track owner with the competent with the perform the following functions as they apply to particular engineering work to be performed. Determine the force and stress railroad bridge's bridge component to be prescribed the safety loading condition of the railroad bridge, prescribe inspection, maintenance, the procedure for the railroad bridge, design, repair, modification of the railroad bridge. Educational qualifications. Railroad bridge engineer should either A, have a degree in engineering granted by the School of Engineering with at least one program accredited with the ABET Incorporated Success Organization as a professional engineer curriculum, a degree within the program accredited with the professional engineering curriculum by the foreign organization recognized by the EBET Incorporated and successor, current registration and as professional engineering, nothing in part with respect of state's authority to regulate the professional practice of engineering. 237.53 Railroad Bridges Inspectors. Railroad Bridge Inspector shall be the person determined with the track owner to be technically competent with a view to the measure report record with the condition of the railroad bridge and its individual components, which the person designated to inspect. Inspector shall designate to authorize the restricted operation of the railroad traffic over the bridge according with the immediate condition of the state repair. 237.55 Railroad Bridge Supervisor. The Railroad Bridge Supervisor shall be a person regardless of the position, title, with a determined with the track owner technical component with the supervisor for the construction, modification, repair of the railroad bridge, informant for the common particular specification, plans, instruction, and plan for the work will be formed, and the authorized the restricted operation of railroad traffic over the bridge in according with the immediate condition of the state repair. State of repair. 23757, designation of individuals. Each track owner shall designate the individuals qualified as a railroad bridge engineer, railroad bridge inspectors, railroad bridge supervisors. Each individual designation shall include the basis of the designation and effect shall be recorded. Subpart B, capacity of bridges. Determining 23771, determining the bridge load capacity. Each track owner shall determine the load capacity of each of the railroad bridges, but the load capacity needs not to be ultimate maximum load capacity, but must be at a safe load capacity. Load capacity each of the bridge shall be documented in the track owner bridge management program together with a method with which the capacity was determined. The determining of the load capacity shall be made with the railroad bridge using the appropriate engineering method as standard for the hour particular with the applicable railroad bridges. The bridge load capacity may be determined for the existing design and modification record for the bridge are provided with the bridge substantially conform to the record configuration. Otherwise, load capacity for the bridge determined with the measure of the calculation of the property of the individual components. Other method determined by the railroad and track of the owner group of the bridge of the load capacity has not already been determined. The owner shall schedule the evaluation of the bridges according with the relative property with the established railroad bridge engineer. The initial determination of the load capacity shall be completed with no later than 5 years following the required date of the adoption of the track owner bridge management program in conformance with the statute 23731. Where the bridge inspector reveals the determination of the railroad bridge engineer, the condition for the bridge and component may be adversely of the fact for the admissibility of the bridge to carry out the traffic being operated with the new capacity shall be determined. The bridge load capacity may be expressed in the terms of the numerical value of the related to the standard system of the bridge load, but there shall be in case of the save, but the terms of weight and length of the individual or combined cars at locomotives and for each of the transportation bridge. Bridge load capacity may be expressed in terms of the both normal maximum load condition operating with equipment. The produce of the forces greater than the normal capacity shall subject to the restriction of the conditions that may be prescribed by the railroad bridge engineer. 23773 bridges. The protection for the bridge is overweight and over-dimension loads. Each track owner shall issue the instruction for the personnel with the responsible for the configuration and operation for the trains over the bridge to prevent the operation for the cars and locomotives and other equipment that would exceed the capacity of the dimensions over the bridge. The instruction regarding the weight shall increase in terms of the maximum equipment and weights and either the maximum equipment length of the or axle spacing. The instruction regarding the dimensions shall be expressed in terms of feet with the inches of the cross-section equipment, the length in conformance with the common railroad industry practice for the recording dimension with exemptional equipment, the interchange in which the height above the top of the railroad shown for each of the cross-section measurements and followed by the width of the car for the each ship of the shipment at the height. The instructions may individual structure for the defined line and segments and groups in the line segments where published capacities and dimensions are within limits of all the structures and subject line segments. Alright, subpart E, bridge inspection, 237-101, scheduled bridge inspection. Each bridge management program shall include the provision scheduling inspection for each of the bridge railroads over at least one each of the calendar year with not more than 540 days between any successive inspection. B. A bridge shall be inspected more frequently than provided within the bridge management program when a railroad bridge engineer determines that such inspection frequency is necessary considering the conditions noted on the prior inspection, type of the configuration of the bridge, the weight and frequency of the traffic carried on the bridge. Each bridge management program shall define the requirements for the special instruction for the bridge to be performed whenever the bridge is involved with an event that might have the compromise with the integrity of the bridge, including but not limited to flood, earth fire, earthquake, or derailment, or vehicle or vessel impact. A railroad bridge that has not been railroad surface that has not been inspected in accordance with the section of the previous 540 days shall be inspected, and the inspection reported reviewed by the railroad bridge engineer prior to the resumption of the railroad service. Bridge inspection procedures. Each bridge management program shall specify the procedure to be used for the inspection of individual bridges, classes, and type of the bridges. The bridge inspection procedure shall be specified by the railroad bridge engineer who designates responsible for conducting the review of the inspection. The inspection procedure shall incorporate the methods, means, and access for the level of detail being recorded by various components of the bridge and class bridges. The bridge inspection procedure shall ensure the level of detail of the inspection procedure for the appropriate to configuration of the bridge and conditions for the during the previous inspection, nature of the railroad traffic moved over the bridge, including equipment weight and trains and frequency and length and level of the passenger hazards, material traffic, and vulnerability of the bridge to damage. The bridge inspection procedure shall be designed to detect, report, protect deterioration deficiencies before the present hazard safe train operation. 237-105. Special inspection. Each bridge management program should prescribe a procedure for the protection of the train operation inspection of any of the bridge that might have been damaged by a natural accident, incident, including but not limited to flood, fire, earthquake, derailment, vehicular, or vessel impact. Each bridge management program shall provide with a detection score of the return deterioration of the bridge component of the submerged and other subject for the water flow. 237-107, conducting bridge inspection. Bridge inspection shall be conducted under the direct supervision of the designated railroad bridge super inspector who is responsible for the accuracy of the result and the conformity of the inspection and bridge management program. 237-109, bridge inspection records. Each track owner of which the part applied with shall keep each for the inspection record with the performed on these bridges under this part. Each record of the inspection under this bridge management program is prescribed in this part shall be prepared for the note and taken with the date. If the inspection is made, supplemented with the sketch and photographs as needed. Such record will be dated with the dates when the physical inspection takes place on the day of the record of the created. It will be signed and otherwise certified with the person making an inspection. Each bridge management program shall specify every bridge inspection report shall include a minimum of the following information: precise identification of the bridge inspected, the date with which the physical inspection was completed, identification or written electronic signature of the inspector, the type of the inspection performed with the conformance of the definition inspection type of the bridge management program. 5. The indication of the report whether any item thereon the railroad requires expedited critical review of the railroad by a railroad bridge engineer, any restriction placed at the time in the inspection. 6. The condition of the components inspected, which may be conditioned with the reporting format prescribed with the bridge management program, together with any narrative description necessary for the correct interpretation of the report. When an inspection does not encompass the entire bridge, the portion of the bridge where they be inspected shall be identified with the report. Initial report of each of the bridge inspections shall be placed on the location designated by the bridge management program within 30 calendar days of the completion of the inspection, unless complete inspection report is filed first. The initial report shall include the information by the paragraph C1 through C5 of this section. Each of the report complete report bridge with inspection, including the minimum of the information required for the paragraph C1 through C6 of this section, shall be placed in location designated by the bridge management program 120 calendar days for the completion of the inspection. Each bridge inspection program shall specify the retention period of the location of the bridge inspection periods. Records or retention period shall not be no less than 20 years, allowing the completion of the inspection records of the underwater inspection shall be retained until the completion review of the next underwater inspection of the bridge. A bridge inspector, supervisor, and engineer discover the deficiency condition of the bridge effectively, immediately, safely of the train operations. Person shall report the conditions as promptly as possible to the person who controls the operation of the train and the bridge on the bridges in order to protect the safety of the train operations. 237-111, review of the bridge inspection. Bridge inspection report shall be reviewed and review bridges of supervisors, railroad bridges to determine whether the inspections have been performed in accordance with the prescribed schedule. Specified procedures to evaluate whether any item of the report present with the potential hazards of safety, the prescribed modifications, inspection procedure, the frequency of the particular bridge, and D, the schedule any repairs, modification to the bridge is required to maintain structural integrity. Determine the need for the further higher level of review. Subpart F, repair and modifications of bridges. 237-131, design. Each repair modification will materially modify the capacity of the bridge and stress primary load carrying component of the bridge shall be designed by a railroad bridge engineer. The design shall specify the manager of the railroad traffic or other live loads may be permitted by the bridge while it is being modified and repaired. Design procedure for the repair modification of the bridge in common configuration, such as timber trestles. Instruction for the in-kind replacement of the bridge components may be issued with the common standard, where common standard address the procedures, methods, and could be materially modified capacity for the bridge and stresses of the primary load carrying component with the bridge and standard shall be designed and issued by a qualified railroad bridge engineer. 237-133, supervision and repairs modification. Each repair modification pursuant to the performed under this immediate supervision of railroad bridge supervisor defined as statute 237-55 of this part, who designated with the authorized with the track owner supervisor with the particular work for the performed. The railroad bridge supervisor shall ensure the railroad traffic, other live loads permitted on the bridge under the repair modifications are conformity with the specification and the design. Subpart G, documentation records and audit bridge management programs. 237-151, audit generals. Each program adapted to comply with this part shall include the provisions, audit, and effectiveness for the several provisions of the program, including the availability of the bridge inspection report for the bridge inventory data and the correct application movement of the restriction railroad equipment exceptional height, weight, or configuration. 237-153, audits and inspection. Each bridge management program shall incorporate provisions for the internal audit to determine whether the inspection provisions for the program are being followed and whether the program itself is effectively providing the continued safety of the subject of the bridge's inspection. Audit shall include the evaluation represented with the sampling of the bridge inspection reports that the bridge is noted on the reports to determine whether the reports are accurately describing the condition of the bridge. Alright, 237-155, documents records. Each track owner required to implement the bridge management program to keep the records upon under this part make the program documents records available for the inspection, reproduction of FRA, the electronic record keeping general for the purpose of complying with the record keeping requirements for this part. The track owner may create and maintain the records required for the part with the electronic transmission, stored, retrieval that provided with all the following conditions are met. The system used for the generator of the electric records must be also allow requirements for the sub-art. The electronic generator of the records contains the information required by this part. The track owner monitors the electronic record database through the sufficient number of the monitoring indicators to ensure the high degree of the accuracy of these records. Track owner shall retrain the employees when who use the system on the proper use of the electronic record system. The track owner maintains its information technology security program adequate to ensure the integrity of the system, including the prevention of the unauthorized access of the project logic individual records. The system security, the integrity of the bridge inspection records must be protected with the security system that incorporates the user identify password comparability method to establish appropriate level of the program record data that access meeting all of the following standards. No two individuals have the same electronic identity. A record cannot be deleted or altered by any individual after the record is certified by the employee who created the record. Amendment with the record with any amendment to record is either electronically stored apart with the record with the amendments, electronically attached to the record information who without change of the original record attached the amendment to the record, uniquely identify the person making the amendment, and 5. The electronic system provided with the maintenance and inspection records originally submitted without the corruption or loss of data. Alright, Part A, 236, Appendix A, Part 237, Supplemental Statement of the Agency Policy of Safety of the Railroad Bridges. Statement of the Agency Policy of the Safety of the Railroad Bridges, originally published in FRA in 2000, Appendix C of the Federal Track Safety Standard, the Title 49 U.S. CFR Part 213, with the promulgation of the Title 49 CFR Part 237, Bridge Safety Standards. Many of the non-regulatory provisions of the policy statement has been incorporated into the Bridge Safety Standard within this part. However, the FRA will determine that the other non-regulatory and items of the state still useful, and the information guidance for the track owner with the provisions policy statements are therefore retained with the place in the appendix in lieu of their former location of the track safety standards. In general, structural integrity of the bridge to carry the railroad track is important for the safety of railroad employees. To the public responsibility of the safety of the railroad bridges is specified in Statute 237.3, responsibility for the compliancy. The capability of the bridge for the safety supported with the traffic can be determined only by the intelligent application of the engineering principle of the law of the physics of the track. Owner shall be used with the principle to assess for the integrity of the railroad bridges. Long-term applicability of the structure performing the function with the economic issue beyond intent with the policy is assessing the bridge's structural condition. The FRA focuses on the bridge safety structure rather than its appearance with the long-term usefulness. The FRA inspector cannot regular evaluation of the railroad bridge inspection management practice of the object for these evaluation documentation with the practice of evaluated railroads discuss any of the program weaknesses that could affect the safety of the railroad employees to assurance of the term of the regulation evaluation discloses the problem. The FRA seeks to cooperative the resolution and safety of the track owner failure to resolve a bridge problem. The FRA will appropriately measure, including the assessing of civil penalties, issuing emergency orders, and to protect safety of railroad employees and the public. 5. The policy statements address for the integrity of the bridge of the carry out the railroad tracks, and not address for the integrity of the other tracks, type of the structure of the railroad property for the tunnels, highway, bridge of the railroads, other structures over the right of way. The guidelines published in the statement of advisory, they do not enforce the regulation over the orders of the FRA, and they enforce the civil penalty over the means of the guidelines supplement with the requirements of Part 237 and or related retained information guidelines. Guidelines. Responsibility of safety railroad bridges. The responsibility of safety railroad bridges is specified in 237 Set 3. The track owner shall be maintained with the current information requiring the loads may be operated with the bridge either from the own engineering evaluations or provided with a component engineer representing with the track owner. Information on permissible loads with the communicated with the track owner with the terms on the specific car, locomotive configuration, as weights, as and values represented with the standard railroad bridge rating of the reference system. The most common standard bridge rating reference of the system incorporated the Manual Railway Engineering and American Railway Engineering Maintenance for the Way Association, the dimensional proportional load configuration devices of Theodore Cooper, whose references systems are used with a convenient provided with the effects and can be defined in terms of shear bending of the period reaction necessary for the comprehensive evaluation statement of the capacity of the bridge. The owner of the track bridge shall advise of the railroads operating with the track maximum load permitted with the bridge in terms of the car locating with the configuration of the weights. No railroad shall operate with a load that exceeds these limits without specific authority from the in accordance with the restriction placed in the track owner. 2. The capacity of the railroad bridges. The safe capacity of the bridges shall be determined pursuant to Statute 23771. Proper analysis of the bridge required with the knowledge of the actual dimensions and material property of the structural members of the bridge, their condition with the stress imposed of the members, the service loads, factor which are used, and for the designing bridge can generally be used to determine the rate and load of the capacity of the bridge provided. 1. The condition of the bridge has not been changed significantly to the stress resulting with the service load can be correlated with the stress for which the bridge was designed and rated. 3. The railroad bridge loads. Control loads are governed by Statute 23773. Authority for exemption of equipment exceeding the nominal weight restriction of the bridge shall be operated with under the condition of determined with the competent railroad bridge engineer who has properly analyzed with the stress resulting from the proposed loads and determined with the proposed operation that can be conducted safely without damaging the bridge. Operating conditions, expectational loads may be included with the speed restriction of the traffic for the adjacent multiple track weight limitations on adjacent cars and the same train. 4. Railroad bridge records. The organization responsible for the safety bridge shall keep the design with the construction maintenance for the repair record of the readily accessible to permit the determination of the safe loads, having design and rating of the drawings and calculation with the conform. The actual structure of the greater simplifies the process of the making accurate determination of safety bridge loads. The provisions governed by Statute 23733. Organization requiring railroad property shall be obtained the originally usual copies of all bridge records and drawings to protect and maintain knowledge of the location of the original records. F. Specification for the design and rating of the railroad bridge. The recommendation, specification, design, rating of the bridge is that found with the Manual of Railway Engineering published in the American Railway Engineering and Maintenance of the Way Association. The specification incorporate the recognized and then principle of the structural design analysis to provide with the safety and economical utilization of the railroad bridges during the expected useful lives. The specification continually reviewed and revised the community for the competent engineer for the other specification for the design rating of the however they have been successfully used with some railroads may be continued the suitability. A bridge can be rated with the capacity according to the current specification regardless of the specification with which the original design. 6. Periodic inspection with the railroad bridges. Periodic inspection may be component with the inspector for the necessary to determine whether the structure conforms with the design rating condition with the degree of the nonconformity. See 237-101, Section 237-101A called for every railroad bridge to be inspected at least once in each calendar year. The deterioration of the damage may occur but during the cause of the year, regardless of the level of the track passes over the bridge. Inspection of more frequent intervals may be recorded with the natural condition of the structure or intensive track levels. 7. Underwater inspection of the railroad bridge. Inspection of the bridge shall include the measuring and recording of the condition of the substructure support of the location subject to the erosion over the moving the water. Streams and beds are often not visible to the inspector. Indirect measures of sounding, probing, any other appropriate means if necessary. In this case, the survey of the records of these readings will be provided with provide the best information in the event of an unexpected change suddenly occur, which such indirect measurements do not provide necessary assurance that the foundation integrity. Diving inspection should be performed as prescribed by competent engineer. 8. Seismic consideration. Owners of the bridge shall be aware of the risk proposed by earthquakes in the area where the bridges are located, but the precautions should be taken to protect the safety of the trains of the public following the earthquake. Contingency plans to seismic events shall be prepared with advance taking into account of the potential seismic activity in the area. See, the prediction actuation ground of the motion vary considerably within the United States. Local ground motion attention actuation value of the magnitude of the earth of the quake must be influenced to the extent of the area affected by the earthquake. Reasons for low frequency seismic events will produce less data from predicted actuation factors. This uncertainty should be considered with the design area, but the precautions should be taken the following. The first note for the earthquake. In fact, the earthquakes in such regions must be made propagate their effects over the much wider area of the earthquake over the magnitude occurring in the region's frequent seismic activity. Alright, 9. Special instruction on railroad bridges. Requirements of special instruction on railroad bridges are found in Statute 237-105. 10. Railroad bridge inspection records. Requirements for the required and reporting bridge inspections are found in Statute 237-109. B. Information for the bridge inspection report shall be incorporated with the bridge management program to ensure the exemption of the report corrected with the account for the year of the inspection reports prepared over the time shall be maintained so that to provide valuable records such as trend with the rates of the grading of the bridge component of the report shall be ensured and promote the comprehensive inspection effectiveness communication between the inspector and engineer performing the analysis of the bridge. Inspector report shall be comprehensive, competent person without interpretation and by the report inspector. 11. Railroad bridge inspectors and engineers. Bridge inspections shall be performed with the technicians by training with the experience and enable them to detect the railroad indication of the distress of the bridge. Inspectors should provide accurate measurement for the other information about the condition of the bridge and enough to detail so that the engineer can make a proper evaluation of the safety of the bridge. Qualification of the personal address in subpart C of this part 237. B. Accurate information about the condition of the bridge shall be evaluated. The engineer component will determine the capacity of the bridge. The inspector with the evaluator often not the same with the individual. Therefore, the quality of the bridge evaluation depends on the quality of the communication between them. View of the inspection report is addressed in Statute 237-11. The schedule inspection bridge management program shall include the meaning assure that the bridge under the program is inspected with frequency prescribed within the bridge with the component of the engineer scheduling the bridge inspection addressed in 237-101. Bridge inspection should be scheduled with an accurate bridge inventory with a list of including the due date with the next inspection. 13. Special consideration of railroad bridges. The railroad bridges differ from the other type of the bridges. The type of the loads for the carrier they differ, and their modes of the failure with identification of the distress and their construction details and the components of the proper inspection and analysis of the railroad bridge frequently require familiarity with the loads, the details, indication of distress, and the unique of the class with the superstructure of particular care should be taken into the modification of the railroad bridge, including retrofits for the protection against the effect of the earthquakes. The suitable structure with which they are applied. Modification should not adversely affect the serviceability near the bridge nor an accessibility for the periodic special inspection. 14. Railroad implementation of the bridge safety programs. The FRA recommends that each of the track owner or other entity that was responsible for the integrity of the bridge's support with the tracking shall comply with the intent with the regulations adopted and the implementation effective of the comprehensive program. To ensure the safety of the bridge safety program shall incorporate the following essential elements that apply with according to the configuration of the railroad. As bridge of the basis program shall be in one of the comprehensive coherent documentation available to the railroad personnel. Other personnel who are responsible for the application. Any portion of the program shall include clearly defined roles, responsibility of all the persons designated by the authorized to make the determination regarding the integrity of the track owner, design of the designation of the being made by position individual provisional complete inventory bridge of the carried out. The owner of the track to include the following information of each of the bridge. 1. A unique identifier of the milepost location subdivision code, a location of the bridge and nearest the town station geographical coordination, the name of the geographical features crossed by the bridge. 4. The number of the tracks of the bridge. 5. The number of the spans of the bridge. 6. The length of the span. 7. The type of the construction. 1. The superstructure. 2. The superstructure. 1. The substructure. 2. The superstructure. 3. The deck. Overall length of the bridge is 9. 8. 9. Data of 1. Construction. 2. The major renovation. 3. Strengthening. And 10. Identification and needs responsibility for the maintenance of the bridge and different components. Known capacity of the bridge is determined by the rating of the component railroad bridge engineer with the design documentation. D. The procedure for the control movement of the high and wide heavy loads exceeding the nominal capacity of the bridge. Instruction of the maintenance of the permanent the record of the design, construction, modification, repair of the railroad specific procedure for the standards for the design, rating of the procedures. Detailing bridge inspection policies include inspector qualifications include, but bridge inspector experience, appropriate education training with the training of the bridge inspection procedures, training of the railroad bridge, workplace safety with the type of the frequency of the inspection, including periodic, at least annually, underwater and special seismic accuracy inspection overhead bridges that are not responsibility of the railroad. 3. Inspection schedule for each of the bridge. 4. The documentation inspection, including date, name of the inspection report, with the format, coherence for the information. 5. The inspection report review process. 6. The record retention. 7. Tracking critical deficiency resolution, provide protection for the train operating following the inspection, notifying the critical deficiency repair modifications of adverse events, and should include a list of the qualification personnel permitted authorized train over the operation followed by the adverse event, detailed internal program audit with the procedure that ensure compliance with the provisions of this program. Appendix B, Part 237, Schedule of Civil Penalties. 237.31, Adoption of the Bridge Management Program, violation 9,500 to 17,000. Contention of the Bridge Program, inventory of the railroad bridge 2,500 to 5,000. Record of the safe load capacity 5,500 to 10,000. Provisions obtain the maintain and design documentation 5,500 to 10,000. Documentation for the repairs and modification 2,500 to 5,000. Inspection report 2,500 to 5,000. Bridge inspection program content 25,000 to 5,000. Alright, subpart C, qualification, design, and responsible person. Bridge railroad, bridge engineers, a competency of the 5,500 to 10,000. Educational qualification, 2,500 to 5,000. Railroad bridge inspector, 5,500 to 10,000. Designing railroad bridges, 5,500 to 10,000. Designing designation of individuals, 2,500 to 5,000. Subpart D, capacity of the bridge. Determine the bridge loading capacity. Safe load capacity 5,500 to 10,000. Load capacity documented 5,500 to 10,000. Load capacity determined the railroad bridge engineer 5,500 to 10,000. Load capacity determined the railroad bridge engineer. The method of load capacity determination 2,500 to 5,000. Method of prioritization of load capacity determination 2,500 to 5,000. New load capacity determined due to change conditions 2,500 to 5,000. Load capacity stated at the time in terms of weight and length of the equipment 2,500 to 5,000. Restriction of the operation railroad bridge engineer 5,500 to 10,000. Protection of the bridge from overweight, over dimensions. Equipment instruction issue 5,500 to 10,000. Weighted instruction 2,500 to 5,000. Dimensional instruction 2,500 to 5,000. Incorrect institution instruction 2,500 to 5,000. Subpart E, bridge inspections. Scheduling bridge inspection, scheduling fair to inspect 9,500 to 17,000. Inspection within the calendar year 2,500 to 5,000. Inspection frequency exceeding 4,540 days 2,500 to 5,000. Increase inspection frequency 55,000 to 10,000. Special instruction 2,500 to 5,000. Resumption of railroad operation prior to the inspection review 9,500 to 17,000. 237.103 bridge inspection procedures 2,500 to 5,000. Special instruction procedure train operation requiring special instruction 2,500 to 5,000. Providing with detection score of the underwater deterioration 2,500 to 5,000. Conduct with the bridge inspection 5,500 to 10,000. Bridge inspection records, a record of the inspection 2,500 to 5,500. Inspection record certification date 2,500 to 5,000. Falsification 17,000. Inspection record of information 2,500 to 5,000. Initial report within 30 days 2,500 to 5,000. Final inspection with the report of the 120 days 2,500 to 5,000. Retention 2,500 to 5,000. Prompt reading of reporting of the dangerous condition 5,500 to 10,000. Review of the bridge inspection reports reviewed by the bridge engineer, supervisor 2,500 to 5,000. Appropriate action of confirming the presence of the potential safety hazards 5,500 to 10,000. Notification inspection frequency procedure 2,500 to 5,000. Scheduling remedial action 2,500 to 5,000. High level review 2,500 to 5,000. Subpart F, the repair and modification design 5,500 to 10,000. Design supervision repairs modification 5,500 to 10,000. And subpart G, audits general 2,500 to 5,000. Audits and inspections 2,500 to 5,000. Documentation records and electronic record keeping in general 2,500 to 5,000. System security 2,500 to 5,000. And that completes part 237 bridge safety standards.